Henry Ford entered history as a genius of automobile engineering and the architect of an industrial empire. But beyond the legendary cars lies a dynasty of secrets, rivalries, and scandal that shadowed his heirs, children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, through the 20th century and into today. Here are the most intriguing, little-known episodes from the Ford family. At Rare History, we cross-check contemporaneous press, public filings, and reputable biographies to separate documented fact from family lore. Buckle up. The Secret Son of Henry Ford. A mistress, a mansion, and a dark secret. It's said that Henry Ford had a secret illegitimate son. His personal secretary, Evangeline Coate, was only 19 when she allegedly became the lover of the 52-year-old magnate. When she became pregnant, Ford moved quickly, marrying her off to his employee Ray Dollinger and building her a luxurious house, a smaller replica of his own, complete with a hidden staircase leading directly to her bedroom. Ford was often seen visiting the home. Officially, he was checking on an employee's family, though his generous gifts to the boy suggested otherwise. Years later, the supposed son, John Dollinger, published a book titled The Secret Life of Henry Ford, claiming Ford was his father. He wrote that he called him only Mr. Ford and discovered clues to their 12-year affair in his mother's diary. Ford Motor Company never acknowledged John as part of the family. Decades later, the story took a grim turn. In 2013, John's grandson was murdered by a pimp over an unpaid debt to a sex worker. Is the legacy of America's great industrialist as spotless as it seems? Do you think Henry Ford truly had a hidden son? Rare History's verdict. Our team cross-checked the timeline and public records. No proof of paternity exists. It remains one of Detroit's most persistent family legends. The death of his only son. Natural milk as a fatal mistake. Henry Ford's only son, Edsel Ford, died at just 49 under mysterious circumstances. Many claimed that his father's constant pressure and criticism broke his spirit, that Edsel died of a broken heart. But the medical truth was far more cruel. He suffered from brucellosis, undulant fever, caused by unpasteurized milk from Henry Ford's own farm. The elder Ford believed fanatically in all-natural living and forbade pasteurization, convinced that raw milk was healthier. His stubbornness proved fatal, the milk was contaminated, and his son paid the ultimate price. Years of stress under his father's rule had already ruined Edsel's health. His ulcers turned to stomach cancer. Henry refused to recognize how serious the illness was, insisting on his own natural remedies. By the time doctors intervened, it was too late. Edsel died in 1943, never taking the reins of the empire. Did Henry Ford's obsession with purity kill his only heir? Rare History's verdict. We reviewed medical notes and press coverage. Edsel's illness is documented, but the raw milk link is unproven. A tragic mix of arrogance and denial. Henry Ford II's personal vendetta, firing a legend on a whim. Henry Ford II, the founder's iron-fisted grandson, ran Ford Motor Company like a monarch. And in July 1978, he shocked the auto world by abruptly firing Lee Iacocca, the genius behind the Mustang and future savior of Chrysler. Iacocca had delivered record profits, over $1.8 billion for 2 consecutive years, yet it didn't save him. When he asked, why? Henry coolly replied, sometimes you just don't like somebody. The remark made headlines worldwide. Critics called it arrogance and a betrayal of talent. Iacocca later described Henry II as a tyrant and spendthrift. Even years later, Ford was rumored to regret the move, especially after watching Iacocca rise to glory at Chrysler. Should a dynasty heir risk the company's success just to satisfy his ego? Rare History's verdict. Our investigation confirmed the quote and sequence of events, a personal feud that changed the course of American automotive history. The price of love, models, divorce settlements, and high society scandals. Henry Ford II's personal life was as chaotic as his boardroom politics. 3 marriages, endless affairs, and multimillion-dollar settlements followed him everywhere. In 1965, he married Italian socialite Cristina Vittore, hailed as one of the world's most elegant women. By the mid-1970s, rumors linked Henry to a young model, Kathleen DeRoss. In 1975, he filed for divorce, granting Christina a record $16 million payout, roughly $88 million in today's money. She later demanded another $5 million from his estate. Henry soon married Kathleen, his third wife, but scandals persisted. He was friends with Imelda Marcos, the controversial First Lady of the Philippines, and once, in a fit of jealousy, accused Christina of an affair with her. The insult spread through the press, turning Ford's love life into a social soap opera, a spectacle of money, pride, and wounded vanity. Rare. History's verdict. Divorce records confirmed the figures, but most personal accusations came from gossip columns. Part truth, part theater. Charlotte Ford and the death of a Greek princess. Charlotte Ford, Henry II's daughter, became the center of an international scandal in the 1960s. At 24, she fell in love with Stavros Niarchos, the 56-year-old Greek shipping tycoon, one of the richest men alive. But Niarchos was still married to Eugenia Livanos, a Greek aristocrat. When Charlotte became pregnant, he left his wife and secretly married her in Mexico in 1965. The marriage collapsed within a year. The Orthodox Church refused to recognize it, and Niarchos returned to Eugenia. Charlotte raised their daughter Elena Ford alone in the U.S. But tragedy soon struck. In May 1970, Eugenia died after taking 25 Seconal pills. Niarchos, instead of calling a local doctor, brought one from Athens. Too late to save her. Forensics found bruises and marks of strangulation. Niarchos was arrested on suspicion of manslaughter. He claimed he was trying to revive her. Officially acquitted, he escaped justice, perhaps helped by his powerful friends in Greece's military junta. The scandal haunted both families for decades. Rare history's verdict. Our team compared court documents and press accounts. The death and acquittal are real, but the cause remains shrouded in doubt. The Inheritance War. Widow versus heirs and millions at stake. After Henry Ford II died in 1987, a fierce family feud broke out. His $350 million trust granted all income to his widow, Kathleen DeRoss Ford, for life, then to 6 grandchildren. The trustees, Kathleen, Edsel Ford II, and financier William Donaldson, quickly clashed. In 1988, Kathleen accused Donaldson of demanding a $1 million annual fee and threatening to cut her stipend to $1.5 million. Meanwhile, Christina, Henry's ex-wife, sued for $5.4 million she said was still owed. The lawsuits dragged on for years before ending in private settlements, exposing greed and deep fractures within the family. Rare history's verdict. Financial filings and news archives confirm the disputes, proof that even fortune can't buy family peace. The great-grandson's arrest, family fight, or quiet cover-up. In July 2016, police in Grosse Pointe Farms arrested Edsel Ford II after his wife Cynthia called 911 during a heated argument. According to reports, he pushed her and grabbed her phone, allegedly while drunk. Officers noted bruises and charged him with minor assault. The next day, Cynthia dropped the charges, and prosecutors dismissed the case for lack of evidence. The Fords released a statement calling it a private family matter. To many, it seemed like another example of how money and influence can quietly erase scandal, even in America's most famous industrial dynasty. Rare history's verdict. Police reports confirmed the arrest. The dismissal ended the story, at least on paper. The drunk driving heiress. Elena Ford's DUI with a child in the car. In April 2011, Elena Ford, Henry Ford's great-granddaughter and a senior Ford Motor Company executive, was arrested near Detroit for drunk driving. Her SUV jumped a curb, and children were inside. She was charged with DUI and child endangerment. Ford Motor Company called it a personal incident, distancing itself from her. The story dominated headlines: a Ford heir, intoxicated, endangering children. Elena later apologized publicly, completed treatment, and complied with court orders. The scandal tarnished her image, a painful reminder that even within America's automotive royalty, human mistakes can still drive headlines. Rare history's verdict. Court records confirm the charges and outcome. A human failure, not a corporate one. The last love of Henry II, the widow, and the alleged abuse. In 2019, Kathleen DeRoss Ford's daughters accused her longtime companion, Frank Chopin, of abusing and isolating the 79-year-old widow. They claimed he forced pills on her, yelled, restricted doctors, and controlled her finances. Chopin denied everything, and doctors testified that Kathleen had received excellent care and lived longer thanks to him. Friends defended him, saying he was devoted to her. The daughter's lawyers called it a power grab for her mansion and fortune. Kathleen died in 2020 at age 80, and the feud continued in court. Even in its twilight years, the Ford saga remained a story of money, power, and control, long after the engines stopped running. Rare history's verdict, testimonies conflict, and no final ruling was issued. Some truths in the Ford dynasty fade as quietly as the engines they built.